Hey, what's up, fellas? I'm Illustrious Female Fan Steve Alicious here with the Blackberry Key 2 and the next installment in my informal series talking about what the next form factor for Blackberry should be in 2021. Surprisingly, a lot of people said that this one should get another shot with a Blackberry Key 3. I'll go over why I don't think that's the best idea, and we'll talk about some of the things the Blackberry Key 2 did right and some of the things not so right. Today on this edition of Steve Alicious Tech. And we're back as always. Thank you so much to all the new subscribers, up over 1,890 as of the taping of this video. Thank you so much. If you're loving the BlackBerry videos, if you're loving the new stuff, the old stuff, all the phones, go ahead and give that subscribe button a tussle. It certainly means a lot to me. So, there are a few things. I don't want to totally bash the Key 2. There's this impression that just because I'm not in favor of a Key 3 that I must hate the Key 2 and I didn't like it. That's not true. I think there are things that I hope that Onward Mobility gets right in the next BlackBerry that TCL very much did. The first one being the feel. When you pick it up, and feel is so important to BlackBerry devices. When you pick up this device, the build quality, the materials, you know you're holding a BlackBerry. And that's something that I really hope that Onward gets correct with the BlackBerry in 2021, and TCL certainly did that. This is not a throwaway addition to a BlackBerry, something that we just forget ever happened. This was a nice BlackBerry. It was something different. It was a new entry for BlackBerry that we hadn't had in years, and it was something that we were all looking forward to. And like I said, the build materials are nice. The rubberized, the texturized material on the back is nice. The convenience key is nice. Where I think it started to fall short, and by the way, performance was quite nice too, even though it wasn't the most powerful chipset in the universe. You didn't need it. They kept it rather light. They had the nice BlackBerry stuff on top of the OS skin, on the Android skin, and I thought it performed well. So I didn't have any problem with performance. I didn't have any problems with the build quality. Where I think it started to fall a little short was the quality control, especially when you came to the keyboard. A lot of people had a problem with the spacebar. A lot of the spacebars just stopped working. The keyboard feel wasn't quite what they sold it to be. And there was a kind of idea to paint this as the spiritual successor to the 9900, the bold 9900. Well, it has the same keyboard as the 9900. It has the same feel as the experience. You're just putting a taller keyboard on top of the 9. I never really bought into that. That's like saying that, well, we had McDonald's tonight, and it's the closest thing we've had to that since we had Burger King a few nights ago. And the reason being is because your last two meals were Taco Bell and Chipotle. Okay, you're coming from the BlackBerry Passport and the Priv. So then when you go back to a Key 1, a Key 2 type device, you're like, oh, okay, well, that's kind of close to what we had previously. Yeah, technically, but it's not quite the same. That quality that you had with the 9900 isn't quite the same that you got on the Key 2. Can we talk? This is an aside for a moment. Can we talk about fast food for just a second? Because this is a discussion I had the other day. For some reason, I like the Burger King beef patty. Like, I think the meat at Burger King is the best. For Wendy's, I think the chicken is the best. The chicken nuggets, which I know a lot of people will go nuts about, and also the chicken patties, the fillets that they put on the sandwiches. However, that being said, all around best, I still give to McDonald's. And I couldn't explain it to other people. So maybe if you're like that in the comment section, you can explain it to me because I couldn't quite understand it. And of course, there's always White Castle, which I'm fairly certain alters your DNA in some mind-boggling way. I would love to fund, at least partially fund, some sort of genome study of someone before they had a Crave case and after they had a Crave case to see just what it does to the human body. You could go ahead and leave that. What were we talking about? Oh, Blackberries, yes. Okay, so I never really quite signed on to that this was somehow a bold 9900. The other thing that I think you're going to get caught up on, and a lot of people don't understand, or they're thinking of what things they'd want to see in a BlackBerry, and it reminds me of a Steve Jobs interview. He had just come back to Apple, and he was cutting a lot of programs, right? He was going around, and there was some very upset engineers, and one of them got up in a meeting. I think it was somebody with OpenDoc or something like that. Got up and told him, well, how can you get off doing this and all this, and you don't know about these products? And his answer was excellent. He said, we can't just look around at things we can do and the technology that we have and then try to make a product out of that, and then go ahead and try to sell it to the public and kind of understand what they don't have and show them and try to convince them that this technology is really great. What you have to do is you look at what the consumer is asking. What do they need? What are the needs that our product could fill? And then you funnel that down to the technology that you have and make it your own. And I think that's an important point that we lose sometimes when we start talking about Blackberries. Because we get so wrapped up in the keyboard and how it has to have this kind of form factor, or it has to have the screen and then the keyboard and the privs, the secondary. We have to have a timeout and understand that it can't just be BlackBerry enthusiasts who are buying this next phone. It's not going to work. They had 2 bites at the apple with this form factor, with the candy bar. They had the Key 1 and the Key 2. And the enthusiasts weren't enough. Trust me, if they were, TCL would still be making phones, but they're not. Because it just wasn't enough. You're going to have to pull in people who were either BlackBerry users 10 years ago who want to give it another shot, or iPhone or Android users that you're going to try to convert. And so you have to ask yourself, if in 2021, as I pull up a video, if this is how you're going to be watching content. Be honest with yourself. This looks like one of those TVs from the 90s where you have the screen here, the 80s even. The screen here, and then you have the dials over here. You don't want to watch content like that in 2021. You just don't. Whether it's Netflix, whether it's Twitch, whether it's the problems with the aspect ratio for Instagram, whatever it is. And you can say, wow, Blackberries are about, it's going to be a business phone. It's about security and all that. Yeah, okay, I get it. But you're going to have to appeal to a broader market. And that doesn't mean when people are off duty, they're not watching YouTube. Maybe they're watching the sports. Maybe they're watching football on here. It's still got to be a phone that's more than just a utility. It's got to be something people can enjoy content on in order to branch out from this little bubble that we've created that is BlackBerry. And I think if we understand that, and Onward Mobility understands that, then you're going to have a better device, and you're going to have multiple devices. I've said it multiple times in my videos. This would be my choice. I'd want a BlackBerry Passport. But I understand that that would not make sense for them. Because you'd have to get all the developers on board. You'd have to get all the apps sorted. You'd have to have things changed for the 1:1 or even a 4:3 ratio. That's just not going to happen for such a small market share that BlackBerry would enjoy. However, if you had something like a Priv, that you could have the keyboard there when you needed it, and then you could slide it away when you didn't, and you could have a regular aspect ratio, and the apps could run normally, and you can enjoy content in a way that people are used to in this day and age, or even something like the LG Wing, you got a shot of pulling people over. And the other mistake I think they can make is possibly going with something like this and cramming the very best specs in it, and whatever screen and whatever refresh rate and whatever Snapdragon 750 plus in here, and then slapping $1,000+ price tag on it. That's not how you're going to get people to take a chance on BlackBerry again. You're not. You can't take a form factor that people are uncomfortable with now at this point. For the most part, we're talking about the masses here. I understand you and me, we like this. But for people to take a chance on it, it's got to be at an affordable price, and it's got to be not that much different from what they were using previously. And then you got a shot at start converting people back. But it's not 2013 and 14. It's not 2012, where you've got an installed user base that you're just going to come out with these phones that are magically going to know how to use it and they're going to be fine with it. You got to convert people who for the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years have been using glass slabs. And the way you do that is not with a candy bar device. As nice as you might make it, as much as we might all want, or some people would want something like this. Just like I had to let go of the Passport dream of a Passport 2, I think people who want a Key 3, as nice as that device could possibly be made, at the end of the day, it's about moving units and making sure that there's a version 2 and 3 and 4 of whatever phone they come out with next. And for my money, that doesn't happen with a Key 3 or something similar in this form factor. If you've made it this far, please let me know. I know that BlackBerry stuff is always hotly debated, and that's great. I love talking with people about it. Please let me know if you completely disagree and you think this could somehow be marketable or made to work with content in a way that would be acceptable in 2021. Let me know. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-alicious day. And stay away from White Castle, kids. Okay, water and salads. All right? We'll see you next time.